Hey guys, it's Luke and today I am going to be showing you my Christmas book haul. I have about 20 books to show you today. I'm very grateful for all of them. I got all the books that I was asking for this Christmas. Yeah, and I'm just really excited to show them all to you. I do want to make a disclaimer. I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but I will. I'm not trying to brag in any way. I am very grateful for each and every one of these books. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about them a little bit and show you what I got this Christmas. So yeah, let's just get into the haul. I have quite a few books to show you, and yeah, let's just get into the video. So the first book that I have to show you today is Through the White Wood by Jessica Leake. This is a YA fantasy book. I had not heard a ton about it, but I did hear of this author's other book. I believe it's called Beyond the Darkened Shore. And I wasn't really interested in it, but I had seen this like a few times around when it came out, and then randomly I kind of just came upon it again, and I actually found out that this book is set in Kiev, which is now a part of present-day Ukraine, and I'm Ukrainian if you didn't know, and this is about a girl named Katya who has ice powers, and then I think she ends up going to the palace of the Grand Prince of Kiev, and I think this just includes a lot of Slavic mythology, and I'm really excited about it. I don't know if Jessica Leake is Slavic. I'm guessing, based on her name, I don't think she is, but I did read that she did like a ton of research into Slavic mythology, so hopefully this is accurate. And it's set in like the Middle Ages. It's like the 1100s, so that should be really interesting. I love historical fiction, I love mythology, and I'm just really excited that there's like more Slavic fantasy coming out. Not a ton of it is always accurate, but I do have faith in this book because I heard that she did a ton of research for it, and I'm really excited to get into it, and it seems like a good wintry book, so hopefully I can read this by like the end of the winter. Next, I have a book that I already read, and that is The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. This is a YA fantasy book that follows a girl named Decca who lives in this world where when you turn 18, I believe, is it 18? I really hope so. Oh, no, it's actually 16. All the girls in the village will take this test it's called the Ritual of Purity, and they will see what color their blood runs. If they have red blood, then they are pure and can, like, go on with life. But if they have gold blood, then they are considered, like, demons. And Decca ends up finding out that she has gold blood, and she kind of ends up being indoctrinated, I guess, into this group of other girls who are called the Gilded Ones, and yeah. I read this book. I have a whole vlog where I talk about this book, or it's like a vlog where I talk partly about this book, and I enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 3 stars. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to finish it, because I did put this on my Christmas list, or if I'm going to keep it. I did put this on my Christmas list before I had read the book, and now that I've read the book, I don't know if I'm going to keep it, but we shall see. I might end up returning it, but I am very grateful for it, and I did enjoy it overall, so yeah. It was a fun book, and yeah, it also has a really pretty cover, so. Next, I have another book that I've already read, which is Any Way the Wind Blows by Rowell. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. This is the 3rd book in the Simon Snow trilogy, and I also, in that same vlog where I talked about the Gilded Ones, I talked about Any Way the Wind Blows as well, so you can check that out. It's spoiler-free, so don't worry about that. But I definitely enjoyed this book. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm excited to complete my collection of the series. I ended up enjoying this a lot more than I thought I would, and I just wanted to own a copy so I could finish out, you know, the trilogy, and yeah, it was really fun. I will also talk a little bit more about it in my December wrap-up. But yeah, I ended up really enjoying this book, and I also just think the cover's really nice. I really like the color, and I think it's going to look really nice with the first 2 books in the series. Then I have The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. This book I know basically nothing about. I think it takes place in like 1100 or something. I'm not 100% sure, but I have been wanting to read this book. I heard a little bit about it like a while ago, and I was just interested in it, and I've heard like good things about the miniseries I think that this book was adapted into. I had no idea how long this book is. It's like 1,000 pages, so I don't know when I'm going to get around to reading this, but I definitely will. And I do remember reading the synopsis a really long time ago, but I have no recollection. I just know that I was interested in it at some point, so yeah. I'm definitely interested in this book, but it is definitely a beast, so hopefully I will get around to it sometime soon. Next, I have another book that I already read, which is Lovely War by Julie Berry. I talked about this book in my November wrap-up, but I absolutely love this book. I ended up giving it 5 out of 5 stars. I cannot wait to reread it in the actual physical format. So yeah, I absolutely love this book. I thought it was so good, and oh my god. So yeah, you can definitely find out more of my thoughts in that November wrap-up. I'm going to try to speed through synopsis just because I have a lot of books to talk about. But this basically, it's like Aphrodite is on trial by her husband because she had an affair with the god of war, and she ends up telling the story of these two couples in World War I to try to explain why love and war are eternally attractive. So yeah, I'm so excited to have a finished copy of this book. I absolutely loved it. One of my favorite books of the year, and it was just so good, and I cannot wait to revisit it in the future. Then I have A Vow So Golden Deadly by Brigid Kemmerer. This is the third and final book in the Cursebreaker series. I read the first 2 books in the series, A Curse So Dark and Lonely and A Heart So Fierce and Broken, and I really, really enjoyed them, and I'm super excited to have this book. I'm actually planning to read it in January, so yeah, I'm really excited to finish out this trilogy. It's a really fun series. The first book follows a girl named Harper who ends up getting transported from her life in Washington, D.C. into this world called Emberfall, where she is brought to the palace of the prince who is named Ren, and basically has been cursed by this enchantress to turn into a monster, and as a result of that, he has basically ended up killing a ton of people in his village, except for his bodyguard named Gray, and the only way to break the curse is to find true love. So it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. The first book follows Harper and Ren, and then the second book follows the bodyguard named Gray and another woman from a neighboring kingdom named Leah. And then in this book, it is merged, so we have all 4 of their POVs, and I'm very excited to get to that. I feel like I'm in the minority where I enjoyed both Book 1 and Book 2. I feel like a lot of people either did like Book 2 and really liked, or didn't like Book 1 and really liked Book 2, or the opposite, they really liked Book 1 and wasn't a big fan of Book 2, but I really enjoyed both of them, and I hope I feel the same about this one. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one, and I cannot wait to finish out the trilogy probably next month. I just realized that I actually have a lot of books in this haul that I've already read, so that's kind of nice that I don't have a ton of new books on my TBR, but the next one is Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, the 10th anniversary edition. I have the 10th anniversary edition of City of Bones, which is one of the most beautiful books that I own. I think it's so beautiful, and this one is in a similar kind of design, so it's red cloth bound, and there's no dust jacket, it's just the naked hardcover, and it's gold stencil design, and there's a quote on the back which says, "This is your true self, Tessa, this power is who you are," and then inside there are these really beautifully designed end papers, and then above each chapter there is an illustration. I'm gonna try to find one. Here's one. It's a random chapter that I flipped to. And then there are also character illustrations throughout the book, and illustrations that kind of add to the story. And I'm really, really excited. I think the next time that I reread this series, I plan on rereading the entire Shadowhunter Chronicles next year. So when I get around to Clockwork Angel, I'm definitely going to be reading it in this new format, just because it's so beautiful and I want to admire it. So yeah, this is definitely going to be added to my collection, and I can't wait to see what it looks like with the rest of the books. Next, I have Eragon by Christopher Paolini. I know this is a really popular series that came out in the early 2000s. I actually have no earthly idea when this came out. Oh, this book came out in 2002. I wasn't even born yet, so that's really interesting, but I know it's super popular. I got a signed edition, which is really cool. From Barnes & Noble, and I just know this is about dragons, and I feel like there are not a ton of fantasy books about dragons, so yeah, I'm really excited to read this. Also, I know he published this book when he was 18, and I want to be a young author as well, so I feel like this could be kind of interesting to read. Also, I cannot help but think about how Aragon is basically just dragon, but starting with an E instead of a D. But yeah, I just know this is a really popular series. It's a pretty long first book, and I know that I've seen the other books at bookstores and stuff, and they get progressively longer, so that should be interesting. But I'm really hoping that I fall in love with this series, because it just seems right up my alley, and I feel like this could end up being a new favorite series. Then I have We Free the Stars by Hafsah Faizal. This is the second book and the finale to the We Hunt the Flame series, which I believe is called the Sands of Eowyn duology. And I really liked the first book. I wasn't a big fan of the beginning, like the first 200 pages, but after that I ended up really, really enjoying it, and I'm hoping that this book just picks up right after the high that the last book left off on. And this is also really long. I think it's over 500 pages for sure. Oh, it's actually almost 600 pages. So, yeah, this is definitely a chunky book, but I'm really excited to get to it. And I also think the covers of this series are just so nice. And I really liked Hafsah Faizal's writing style, so. And also the world. I thought the world was really interesting. So I'm excited to jump into this sequel and see how the series ends up finishing. Then I have Life After Life by Kate Atkinson. All I know about this book is that it follows a woman who, I believe, like, every time she dies, she's, like, rebirthed into a new body, and she kind of has, like, a new intuition to, like, avoid the thing that killed her the first time. And I think this takes place during World War II or something? I don't know. I know that she has, like, the opportunity to kill Hitler at some point in this book. But I don't know. I might have just spoiled the whole book. I don't know. But I'm really excited to get to this book, and I think this cover is really nice. I didn't know it was a mass market paperback, so that might be a little bit torturous, but I'm still excited to read it nonetheless. And it seems like Groundhog Day, but not like Groundhog Day, where like she keeps reliving the same day. I find Groundhog Day books kind of boring and annoying, but this is like she keeps being like reincarnated, so that could be very interesting, and it was, like, really popular when it came out, so that should be interesting, and I'm excited to see how I think about this book. Then I have The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivey, I believe is how you pronounce this author's name. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like I heard somewhere that this book is inspired, or has, like, Slavic mythology in it. I could totally be wrong, but I know it takes place in Alaska, and it was a Pulitzer Prize finalist. And, yeah, that's pretty much all I know. But I love books with snowy atmospheres, and I've heard really, really amazing things about this, so hopefully I will enjoy it as well. And there's a quote on here that says, "Magical, as real and mysterious as winter's first snowflake." So, hopefully I agree with that. And, again, I love, like, wintry books, so hopefully this will be a good one. Speaking of wintry books, I have Wintersong by Jae Jones. I believe this is a retelling of Labyrinth, or The Goblin King, or something like that. I have actually no idea, but I heard it was compared to The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. Also, I just noticed that Marie Lu loved this book, so that's kind of interesting. But I really, really liked The Kingdom of Back. It kind of has to do with music, and I believe this one does as well. It's like music and siblings and stuff, and The Goblin King and stuff like that. And I heard it's also kind of wintry, so I'm excited to get to this book. I've heard pretty good things, and one of my favorite authors blurbed it, so that's kind of cool. And the back it says, "The last night of the year, now the days of winter begin, and the Goblin King rides abroad searching for his bride." So that seems really interesting, and again, I've heard it being compared to The Kingdom of Back, which is a favorite book of mine, so I'm really excited for this one. Next, I have kind of a cover by book, and that is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. I kind of just saw this while I was scrolling through Amazon, and the cover caught my eye, and I bought it. I have literally no idea what this book is about, though. Yeah, I have no idea, but I feel like this could be a good Christmas book. Maybe next year, because it does seem obviously very Christmassy. And it also talks about Christmas on the back, but I don't know, it's just a really nice cover. I will fully admit that this was a cover buy. So yeah, I am still really excited for this book, and it's super short. It's like 250 pages, so I will definitely be able to read this probably next Christmas, and I'm definitely excited for it. Then I have another book that I've already read. I'm pretty sure this is the last one that I've already read, but that is Believe Me by Tahereh. I talked about this in my November wrap-up, but this is part of the Shatter Me series, and I just wanted to round up my collection. You all know how much I love the Shatter Me series if you've been on my channel for like 10 seconds. And I read this book. Wasn't my favorite in the world, but I still really liked it, and I mean, are we going to pretend that I'm not going to buy every Shatter Me book? Let's be real. So yeah, I bought this as well. Then we have another book that I have no idea what it's about, and it's another cover by, and that is Always in December by Emily Stone. I could not even tell you the main characters' names. Josie and Max. So, yeah. I will fully admit that this is another cover by, and I'm pretty sure it takes place in London, because I think that's the London Bridge. Oh, actually, I think, wait, am I right? Oh, yes! It does take place in London. Okay, see, I knew I was smart. Okay, anyway. I guess I'm just attracted to Christmassy books, and also books with, like, this green cover, so I have no idea what this book is about, but it does seem like a good Christmas read, so this and window shopping, maybe I'll do, like, a reading vlog next Christmas and see if I actually enjoy them. But, yeah, I could not even tell you a synopsis for this book, but it's a nice cover, so you can admire it, I guess. Then I have All That Glitters by Gita Trelease. I believe this was previously published as Enchanté. And I was interested in that book when it came out, but then I just never really thought about it again. But I saw this on Amazon, and I know it takes place during the French Revolution. Am I wrong? Oh, actually no, I'm not wrong. It takes place, oh yeah, during the time of Louis the 16th and Marie Antoinette. So, I'm really excited for this one, and I think it takes place in the Palace of Versailles, so that should be really interesting. I really want to go to France. I've still never been, but I can travel there through this book, so that should be very interesting. And I think this is also like a fantasy book. I think the main character has a magical power. I don't know what it is, but, oh, actually, it says, I have no idea. But I'm definitely excited for this book, and the cover is very intriguing. Then I have The Virgin's Lover by Philippa Gregory. I know what this book is about. It follows Queen Elizabeth I, and one of her lovers, obviously she was called the Virgin Queen. That's untrue. It's been proven multiple times by historians that she had multiple lovers. She just never wanted to actually get married. But this follows one of her lovers and I believe his wife. I forget his name. Robert Dudley and Amy Dudley. So they are married, and then he had an affair with Queen Elizabeth I. Allegedly. I actually don't know the story behind it, but I have read a few Philippa Gregory books in the past, and I'm really, really excited for this one. And yeah, I just want to kind of round out my collection of her Tudor novels, because I love the Tudor era and the Tudor dynasty, and I'm excited to get to this book some point in the future, because I also love Queen Elizabeth I, so that should be an interesting read. Next, I have another Philippa Gregory book, arguably her most famous one, and that is The Other Boleyn Girl. This is the first Tudor novel that she ever wrote, and I'm really excited about it. I know there's a movie and everything. I know a lot of people said this book is wildly inaccurate, but I mean, it's historical fiction, and it could still be an interesting story. So, yeah, I know this follows Anne Boleyn and her sister Mary, and also Henry VIII, and, like, the whole drama that was going on in that time. I'm definitely still really excited to read it, and I'm excited to see, like, what the hype is about this, because I have read other Philippa Gregory books, but this is, as I said, probably her most famous one. Next, I have Homefront by Kristin Hannah. This is by one of my absolute favorite authors. I've read 2 of her books, and I gave both of them 5 out of 5 stars. I read Winter Garden and The Nightingale. The Nightingale is one of my absolute favorite books of all time, and it was my favorite book of last year. And I believe this book follows a married couple, but the wife is actually the one that goes on to fight in the war. So it's kind of like a role reversal almost during war times. I have no idea which war this takes place during, but I'm sure it's one of the more recent ones, because obviously women were not allowed to fight in, like, World War I or II. But I am definitely really excited to read this book and see if I like it as much as the first 2 books that I've read from her. And then the final book that I have to show in this haul is Sisters of the Winter Wood by Rena Rossner. I will absolutely admit that this book was definitely bought because I know it takes place in Ukraine, and it has Slavic mythology, so I am obviously attracted to any book that has Slavic mythology or takes place in Ukraine. It's very rare to find a book that takes place in Ukraine or that includes Slavic or Ukrainian mythology. So I'm really excited for this book, and I hope it will live up to my expectations, and that it will kind of just give insight into Ukraine. And I don't know when this book takes place, actually. I think it, I have no idea, but maybe it's present day? I actually have no idea, but I'm definitely excited for this book, and I will let you know if this is accurate to Ukraine and Slavic mythology. But that is it for this video. My nose has gotten stuffier and stuffier as this has gone on. I don't know why every time I film, my nose just, like, clogs up. Maybe that's too much information, but that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I'd love to know what books you got for Christmas or, you know, any holidays that you celebrate, or if you've read any of these books and enjoyed them, so. Oh, also, I will probably post a picture on Instagram of, like, all the books that I got that I just showed in this haul, and also some of the other presents that I got, because I got, like, some sweaters and clothes, and some tea, and playing cards, and other things like that, so yeah, I'll probably show that on Instagram as well. But yeah, that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!